Welcome, Tiger fans, as we are here for game number 2 between the Catlin Gabel Eagles and your Taft Tigers. The Tigers were victorious in the first game. It was marred by poor pitching from each squad, as a whole lot of walks were issued in that first game, but the Tigers came away with a 22-5 victory in 5 innings of shortened play for the Tigers, as they look to now move firmly into second place within league standings as they go up against the Eagles, who are now tied at 3-2 apiece on the season. As Tigers look to be all alone up top, it'll be Mike Hart leading off for the Eagles against Bleiz Kimbrough, who starts off with strike number 1. As a whole lot of action there in game number 1. That, as we said, was marred by lack of control. There was a bit of rain as Bleiz fires that one outside corner looking, strike 2 to Mike Hart, as rain doesn't look to be a problem here in game number 2. Curveball and just misses outside, as Bleiz has great numbers on the hill this year. He leads the team in ERA with a 1.62 on the season. In 26 innings pitched, he's got 28 strikeouts. This one hit high and foul by Mike Hart. On deck is the shortstop, Wyatt Hoke, and then it'll be the catcher, Sean Wanzo Lee. Batting fourth, the second baseman, Jed Wayland Stewart. Then it'll be the first baseman, Eamon Walsh, right fielder, Dylan George, center fielder, Braden Wells. Here's the 1-2, and that one, reminiscent of the game number 1. That one just out of his hand from the start. In the 7 spot, it'll be center fielder Braden Wells, batting 8th, designated hitter Aiden Sheeran Honnell, and batting 9th, left fielder Dylan Leon. So the 2-2, Bleiz comes back, and this one hit hard to third base. Eli DeMello is there for the scoop, and the throw to Fico Ramos at first in time for out number 1 on the 5-3 ground out for the Tigers brings up Wyatt Hoke, the shortstop. For the Tigers defensively, Bleiz Kimbrough on the mound, throwing to the freshman Caden Heineman behind the plate, sophomore Fico Ramos at first base, with Ethan Thomas getting the start today, the sophomore at second base for the Tigers. Eli DeMello, the junior, at third. First pitch strike to Wyatt Hoke. Senior Cody Knott at shortstop. Sophomore Darius Smith in left field. He shows bunt, pulls it back, and it's still a strike either way for Kimbrough, who's got an 0-2 count. Senior Ty Fisher in center field, and his cousin, junior Trenton Fisher, in right field. So the 0-2 swung, hit into left field. Darius takes a few steps towards his left, comes in and makes the catch for the second out of the inning. 2 up, 2 down for the Tigers. We'll bring up the catcher, Sean Wanzo Lee, as Sean is hoping that his pitcher is able to find the mark. He had a lot of pass balls and wild pitches there in that first game, as his counterpart, Caden Heineman, behind the plate, saw a few of those as well. So Bleiz, the lefty, gets the check swing, called strike 1 to the catcher, as Wanzo Lee is a sophomore, as Bleiz, one of many talented left-handed pitchers in Special District 2, and this one swung on and fouled back into the cage. 0-2 count now for Wanzo Lee. Coming up after this game, we will bring you the Trailblazers versus Oklahoma City Thunder, Game 3 in progress, with Brian Wheeler on the call. There's the 0-2 curveball, and that one misses outside for a ball as Bleiz tries to paint the outside corner. And then on deck is second baseman Jed Wayland Stewart. Here's the 1-2, and that one misses outside. 2-2 count now for Bleiz. And when you've got a lead in the count, you don't want to throw anything too close, but that one looks like it got away from him as the plate ump, they switched positions, Joe and Ed, there in the first game, as this one low in the dirt. 3-2 count. So Bleiz started off 0-2, doesn't want to lose Wanzo Lee here after having a lead. Coach Daniel Flores in his 3rd season for the Eagles along the third base side, as third out of the inning is recorded swinging from Sean Wanzo Lee. Bleiz Kimbrough gets the out himself. 3 up, 3 down as Tigers go to the bottom of the first. We'll be back in 60 seconds on your Tigers Radio Network. Do you care what color it is? That's 29 on the season. Okay. So we're here in the bottom of the first inning as Tigers were able to get a 3 up, 3 down situation. As much better start for them than it was in the first game when they struggled a bit. As on the mound today for the Eagles, it will be Kellen Woodcock who will be pitching for the Eagles. As each team used 3 pitchers in the first game. So we'll see Woodcock, the right-hander. He'll get the start here in game number 2. As Tigers using perhaps their ace in Bleiz Kimbrough. He definitely has some of the best numbers on the season and most consistent. Of course, that's not unexpected for Bleiz coming into this year. He was expected. Of course, Cam Kessler, senior, is out for the year. As Woodcock with some good warm-up pitches so far. So we'll see how he does if each team kind of saving their top pitchers here for the second game of 2. I want to thank our Tiger sports sponsors on the season, Power Ford, Kenny's IGA, Lincoln City Visitor Convention Bureau, as well as Lincoln City Parks and Recreation, Waddell and Reed, Moe's Restaurants, Lincoln City Sporting Goods, Charlotte Lado at Farmers Insurance, George Moreland Plumbing, Most Wanted Painters, and Wildwood Design. I'm Eric Goss on AM 1400 KBCH. You can find podcasts of our games on our websites at kbcham.com in the podcast section. Here in game number 2, it'll be Kellen Woodcock on the mound throwing to Sean Wanzo Lee with Eamon Walsh at first base, Jed Wayland Stewart at second. Mike Hart is at third base with Wyatt Hoke at shortstop, left fielder Dylan Leon, center fielder Braden Wells, and right fielder Dylan George. So Trenton Fisher to lead things off once again for the Tigers, and then it'll be Eli DeMello on deck with Cody Knott in the hole, and then Ty Fisher and Bleiz Kimbrough. So the right-hander against the right-hander Fisher. And Woodcock's first pitch is high to Trenton for a ball. So 1-0 count for Trenton, who had a good first game with 2 hits. As he's trying to get hit number 3 into right center field, they make a play on it, and it gets out of the glove. Contact between the center fielder, Wells, and the right fielder, George. As I'm not sure which of the 2 is down right now, as it is Dylan George. He's sitting up right now as he collided with Braden Wells. As you always have to talk in the outfield, Trenton is over at second base right now with Eli coming to the plate. So Trenton, another hit to start things off, but Coach Flores is heading out to speak with his right fielder, George. And it looks like George will stay in the game, as the Eagles only brought 10 players out to the coast. 2 players were healthy scratches. As we always say on our broadcast, important to be student athletes, and student comes first in that equation. So Coach Flores and Coach King sharing a laugh there as Coach Flores heads back into his dugout here in the bottom of the first for Eli DeMello, second batter at the plate here, nobody down. So Woodcock throwing from the stretch. And that pitch is low for ball 1. So the 1-1 to DeMello, or the 1-0 to DeMello. Woodcock takes his time with Trenton at second. That pitch is low for ball 2. Tigers plated 22 runs in the first game. This one, though, appears to have a bit better pitching as Woodcock. Here's the 2-0. And that one is low and away, but not too far away for it not to be strike number 1 to Eli. As fortunately the weather has held up here. As the rain forecast, it extended a little bit later than you thought it was going to. As this one hit back up the middle, Hoke catches it at second base. His throw to first is in time on the 6-3 ground out to beat out the hustling wheels of Eli DeMello. Trenton Fisher gets all the way to third on the play. So Tigers have first run 90 feet away with Cody not at the plate. And Cody, he had a great first game for the Tigers. Highlighted by the RBI double that he had. But he also had a single and a walk. So he was 2 for 3 on the day with 3 runs batted in. That pitch is inside for a strike 1. So 1 down with runner at third, 0-1 count. Woodcock from the stretch. And that one is low. Good block by Wanzo Lee. 1-1 count to Cody. So Cody went 2 for 3 in the first game. He has 18 hits on the day with, 18 hits on the season with 21 runs batted in. Trying to bring home Trenton right now and called strike 2 as he gets Cody looking for that one. Coming up on Tuesday, the Tigers will host Klatskanai, one of 2 final home games during the regular season they have left, as it's been heavy. It's been home heavy. This one gets away from Wanzo Lee, goes hard to the cage. Here's a play at the plate, and they get Trenton Fisher in time on the 2-1 ground out, or 2-1 throw out, excuse me, as it'll be a 2-2 count now for Cody. And that one, it got to the cage so quickly that it bounced back to Wanzo Lee, similar to the play in the first game where Caden Hindman threw the runner out at home to the pitcher, Trent. And so Cody, he gets underneath this one, pops it up. Will it stay in play? Eamon Walsh goes after it, makes the catch in foul territory for a pop-up 1. So the Tigers, Trenton Fisher gets all the way to third, but he's unable to come across. They get 1 hit. They leave no one on the base pass. We go top 2 here in 60 seconds, permitting, as we head it back to the station, unless they send it right back to me. Welcome back on AM 1400 KBCH, where we're here in the top of the second inning as Tigers won game 1 between these 2 squads by a score of 22-5. It'll be Jed Waylon Stewart who's playing second base here in game number 2. Starts off showing a bunt as he hits that one foul for strike number 1 to Bleiz. Eli playing at third, came charging up. He's playing back right now after a hard hit from Mike Hart in the first at-bat. See if Waylon Stewart shows bunt again. He doesn't, and this pitch just misses outside for just Bleiz. No nicknames for the senior southpaw. He's all about that business with 29 strikeouts on the season. As this one just gets off the end of the bat for a 1-2 count now for Stewart. Bleiz, 27 innings on the season with 29 strikeouts. A 1-2 count. And goes back to the curveball and misses outside. It's not a bad spot to miss. Outside. On deck is the first baseman, Eamon Walsh, and then Dylan George, the right fielder, is in the hole. And this one goes inside, and it gets past Eli as he hits it back outside. As Waylon Stewart's going to dig for two, and he's got a he's got a sliding double to lead off the top of the second inning. First hit of the game as he screams back to the dugout. He's excited, hoping to get his teammates excited. Eamon Walsh, in a 0-0 ball game here in game number 2, will come to the plate with a runner in scoring position for the first time today for the Eagles. On deck will be the right fielder, George. So no outs here, top 2. As bunt shown, here's the throw to third, and wow, Caden Heineman was so on top of that Eli could have wrote his senior thesis in preparation for next year and still had time to take out Waylon Stewart. So a 2-5 throw out for the first out of the inning. A great play there by the freshman who popped up firing to third. And it's a good thing because that pitch is over the outstretched arms, and it would have brought Waylon Smith to third base easily. Instead, it's a 1-1 count for Eamon Walsh at the plate as we see each catcher in back-to-back halves of the inning make plays to keep base runners checked where they were as he gets him swinging strike 2 on the pitch outside. As Bleiz go with the breaking pitch, or does he break inside? Comes back across the middle, and this one is just fouled off by Walsh. He's just getting a piece of it so far. As when they have fouled him off, they've been hard along that first base foul side. Here's the 1-2 for Bleiz, and curveball misses. So 2-2 count for Eamon Walsh at the plate. Dylan George on deck, and Braden Wells in the hole with one down, top 2. Goes back to the breaking pitch, misses high and away, full count. Lady Tigers off for softball. Catlin Gabel does not have a softball team, so they get to watch their counterparts. That time they watch ball 4, first walk issued by Bleiz on the season, just the 7th walk that he's thrown. So Dylan George comes to the plate now with the runner at first. Let's see if the Tigers can keep him where he is. Bleiz will throw from the stretch. He's got a good view as a lefty. Goes fastball, misses inside to George. So in the first game, Dylan George had a hit by pitch, struck out looking, and got on via a walk. He didn't score any runs. This one, though, is his first hit of the day between the gap between Eli and Cody. It gets behind Darius, and this is going to allow Waylon Stewart to move up, who was planted at second. He's going to turn, go home, and he's going to score because Darius was unable to make the grab in left field on the single from Dylan George that scores Eamon Walsh for the game's first run. So the fielding error by the Tigers costs them, and now the Eagles get on top. They got on top in the first game with 3 in the top of the first. The Tigers, once again, will be playing from behind at home. So Braden Wells comes to the plate now following the second hit of the inning. And a bunt is shown. It's dropped down. Bleiz will throw to first. And Fico comes off the bag, but he was able to keep his toe on long enough while making the catch for the 1-3 ground out. So 2 down now for Aiden Sheeran Hall, the designated hitter, who is batting for the pitcher, Kellen Woodcock. So it's a 1-0 lead for the Eagles. This one is fouled, and it's going to get out of play before Eli can run over there. It's off the top of the Tiger dugout. So Eamon Walsh got on via a walk as he was able to get over to second base, and Dylan George hit one into left field. Darius unable to catch it cleanly, and that's how the Eagles got their first run. That one is fouled back by Sheeran Hall, as Sheeran Honnell, as he's down 2. On deck is the left fielder, Dylan Leon. Leon played second base in the first game, but perhaps a bit of defensive adjustments for Coach Flores, putting Leon in left field. The 0-2. This one's hit. Can it get past Eli? No. He backs up and makes the catch. The Eagles get 2 hits. They leave 1 on the bases, but they score 1, more importantly, and they now lead the Tigers heading into the bottom of the second, 1-0. Back in 60 seconds on your Tigers radio network. Welcome back on AM 1400 KBCH, where Ty Fisher now comes to the plate here in the bottom of the second inning against Kellen Woodcock. Bleiz Kimbrough, his counterpart, gave up the first run of the game, an unearned run, as they were able to get the first man who got a hit off on the bases on a 2-5 throwout as Jed Waylon Stewart tried to steal third base, and Caden caught him, but Eamon Walsh would come around to score on the hit from Dylan George. So Ty here, bottom second, tries to give the Tigers a leadoff man by getting on base against Woodcock, and he starts off with a ball inside. So Ty had a couple walks in the first game, a few runs scored. I want to say it was 3. As he goes back up the middle, Woodcock unable to put glove on it, and Ty has the Tigers' second hit of the game, as Trenton had one in the first, but he got thrown out at home plate. So Tigers, the second hit of the game, brings up the pitcher, Bleiz Kimbrough, trying to help his cause out with Ty at first. And for Ty, coming into today, he had 5 stolen bases. He had at least 1 in the first game. 22 runs scored, a lot of stats. He takes off as Wanzo Lee won't even throw down. He actually lost it out of his glove on the transfer, but Tai, with good speed on the bases, has a stolen base and a ball thrown to Bleiz. He's got a runner in second, the tying run. Just because the Tigers won the first game by 17 in 5 innings doesn't mean this game is likely to play out the same way. Everything counts, and this one is going to get away from Wanzo Lee as Tai advances to third on the pass ball. And it's now a 2-0 count for Bleiz at the plate. As in 2 pitches, Ty's moved up from first to now third. As Coach Hilgers, quick word of advice to his senior, perhaps about after Trenton got thrown out, making sure that, hey, watch where that ball ends up on any pass balls, since it has been a common occurrence today. The 2-0 from Woodcock. As Bleiz goes opposite field, this scores Ty easily. on the RBI single for Bleiz Kimbrough. Good piece of hitting by the senior to go into right field, and we're now tied up at 1 as the sophomore first baseman Fico Ramos comes to the plate. See if the Tigers use a courtesy runner for Bleiz. They will, as that looks like Trenton Hall runs on out. Trenton Hall, as a linebacker, tends to run out and through people, but on the base pass has to be a little bit more heads up, so the junior replaces the senior as the sophomore Fico goes up against Kellen Woodcock, the sophomore. So he'll throw from the stretch with Trenton Hall at first base, and he goes back to first as Walsh has to come out. Good job by Walsh to make that catch, because you get past the first baseman there on a check throw, and your guy at first that you're trying to keep there may end up at second. So here we are, bottom second, and a hard cut there from Fico. Strike 1 to Ramos. The Tigers with 3 hits so far, but only 1 run right now, trying to go beyond just a tie game, as that one is low, and Hall stays at first, though Coach King perhaps now having a word of advice with him about keeping his head up. Might have had a chance with that ball being in front of Wanzo Lee, the catcher, to advance to second. But a 1-1 count for Fico with the left fielder Darius Smith on deck. In the hole is Caden Heineman. As Trenton Hall takes off, curveball thrown, strike at the plate, and Hall is safe standing up on the throw. Trenton Hall with the stolen base. And for Trenton, that is his first stolen base of the season. 1-2 count for Fico on the called curveball. Got to protect here. Nobody out. That one's hit back up the middle, and it gets to Hoke. Here's the shortstop's throw, and time for the first out, 6-3 to get Fico. It advances Trenton all the way to third on the play. So now the go-ahead run is in scoring position for the Tigers' Darius Smith, who comes to the plate. His first at-bat of the day. And Wanzo Lee will go out to speak with Woodcock. Don't know, perhaps if his arm isn't feeling so well. I think that's Coach Flores heading out to speak with him right now. He is. So we'll see if a pitching change happens for Darius. In game 1, he went 2 for 3 with a single, a double, a walk, and he had 4 runs batted in. The last one was a 3-run double with the bases loaded. And Woodcock, he will continue as Coach Flores for the Eagles speaking with our plate umpire right now, as Joe and Ed switch spots in the first game. And I wonder if this is a shoulder issue, as he takes some warm-up pitches right now, waiting for Darius. And so we are going to take a second break as Kellen Woodcock his day is done. It might even be a foot issue, perhaps, with the plant, as he's unable to continue. He looks like this will be for injury purposes. So heading on into the dugout will be Woodcock, and I think that is Mike Hart who will come on out to pitch. So we'll take a 60-second break and be back with more of the bottom of the second inning here on your Taft Tigers radio network. welcome back here on AM 1400 KBCH, where a whole lot of substitutions are happening right now, as it'll be the catcher, Sean Lee, who becomes the new pitcher for the Eagles here. As we have a new catcher now, and that will be the third baseman, Mike Hart, behind the plate. So Tigers, I talked about it in the first game. Perhaps we'd see Eli DeMello play catcher today, with Caden Heineman having caught the first game. Instead, that won't be the case, as Caden behind the plate, but Sean Lee, extra action, man. That's tough to go from catching to pitching. So we'll see how the young man does as a sophomore, called into action to throw for for Eagles coach Flores. As see some of the other substitutions, looks like Eamon Walsh continues at first base, and then Dylan Leon will move in from left field to second base, back to where he was in game number 1. And then our new left fielder, looks like Dylan George is out there. Will George head back, and then who's in the outfield? So we got our infield down well here. It's a 1-1 game for the Tigers. They have Trenton Hall at third base right now, the pinch runner for the pitcher, Bleiz Kimbrough, who reached via an RBI single that brought in Ty Fisher that tied the game up. So Trenton stole second base, and then he advanced to third on the Fico Ramos 6-3 ground out, and Darius will be the first batter to face Sean Lee. So, see how the substitutions work out and who is out there in right field. Must be Aiden Sharon Honnell that's out there. So I believe that is Aiden Sharon Honnell out in right field for Darius at the plate now against Sean Lee. So Zoli from the stretch. And first pitch is outside for a ball. As we said a moment ago, Darius went 2 for 3 in game number 1 with a single and a double. Trying to take the lead here. There's first strike from Lee. That one is low, strike 1. 1-1 count with 1 down. Bottom of the second inning here on AM 1400 KBCH. As Lee gets strike number 2, swinging to Darius. So 1-2 count now as he throws from the stretch. No wind right now, as first game was wet, this one not. That one gets away from the catcher, Mike Hart, and Trenton Hall, it got far enough away that you thought he could have taken that one. Instead, he stays at third base. Perhaps the Tigers' little hesitant Coach Hilgers is speaking with his junior base runner right now about that, after Trenton got thrown out in the first inning on a 2-1 throw out after a pass ball. 2-2 count for Darius. As hits this one and foul. Coach Hilger scoops it up, throws it back to the pitcher Lee as we try it again with, again, a 2-2 count at the plate. Following our game, we will take you directly into the Trailblazers Oklahoma City Game 3 NBA playoffs, as that game will be in progress. As Darius goes to left field, as Trent's going to tag up. No need to. This one gets past Dylan George. He scores. Darius is at second with an RBI double. He's got 2 doubles today, as both have come in his last 2 at-bats, and the Tigers have now taken a 2-1 lead off the solid shot from 0 to give the Tigers the early lead here. As we said, they fell behind in the first game They trailed here in game number 2, and now Caden Heineman will come to the plate, trying to swap places with Darius. That pitch is high and inside. Caden just stood there like a statue, says, you know what, if it hits me, it hits me. The freshman was also a safety on the Tigers football team earlier this fall. He's not afraid of contact. So Wanzo Lee, and this one he's all over the top of it. And we said this in the game last week against Willamina, or on Tuesday against Willamina, and when he had a similar shot down the third base side there, is if he can straighten that hit out, he's going to have a nice solid rip. So here's the 1-1 for Caden. And a slow curveball gets across for strike 2. So Wanzo Lee, a good change of pace there with the curveball. The 1-2 count. Caden got to protect. One down here. There's a pitch. It gets away. Darius is going to head over to third as he looks at Mike Hart the entire way as Darius gets across on the passed ball. Taft up 2-1 with run number 3, 90 feet away. If Caden can bring him in, if he can put anything in the outfield, even if it's caught, Darius has got good wheels. He's likely to tag up and score since there's only one down. And this one hit to third base, and Darius is taken off. Third baseman Jed Wayland Stewart knocks it down. The throw is not in time. So Caden, an infield single, scores Darius from third as Darius took off in the hot corner there as he knocked it down, but Jed Wayland Stewart, that's why it's the hot corner, it comes in hot as the plate ump is now walking down the line to speak with Coach King about this. The field ump said he was safe, and Caden will continue as they'll bring out a courtesy runner for Caden as Lucas comes out, as he gets a few final words from Coach King. So brother for brother adjustment, as we'll see Ethan Thomas now come to the plate for his first at-bat. And Tigers are now up 3-1 as Darius scored on the play that time by Caden. As Lucas is going to take off, here's the throw down to second, and it was on the wrong side of the bag. A good arm on the throw from Mike Hart. Placement was just on the left side of the bag rather on the right side of the bag, so Wyatt Hoke had to bring that one across body, and by that point in time, Lucas already had the stolen base. For Lucas, his third stolen base of the season. He took one earlier this year, his last stolen base, number 2 on the year for him. That one is fouled back into the cage. 1-1 count for Thomas. Was against the first-team All-State catcher last year, Jake Morrow. He was a sophomore in the junior. A great arm, but Lucas just had a great read on the play. He's capable of scoring from second if Ethan can put one on the outfield grass. He puts this one high into the air. Eamon Walsh has a chance at first base, makes the catch in foul territory on the pop-up. So 2 down for the Tigers, as Lucas has to sit at second on the play, but it'll bring up the leadoff man, Trenton Fisher. So Trenton Fisher started the game off with a double. It was in the right center field gap, and it led to a collision out there between George and Wells, and this one goes into center field for the single straight up the middle. Wells, the one gap, goes straight to the plate to Hart, who comes forward. They let the run score, and Trenton Fisher, another single for him. He's 2 for 2 in this game as he gets all the way out to second, as we've got the 4th run of the inning for the Tigers as they're now on top 4-1 as Lucas came in from second base, as that one, a solid shot, a low line drive that Lucas could read easily to know that he had a chance at scoring on it. Brings Eli to the plate now for the second time today. That pitch is outside for ball 1. Eli grounded out in his first at-bat to Wyatt Hoke at shortstop. So Taft 4, Catlin Gabel 1, as Eli hits this one hard at second baseman Dylan Leon, who sticks the glove out, makes the catch on the line out to the second baseman for the final out of the inning, but not before the Tigers collect 4 hits that score 4 runs. They leave 1 on the base pass. We go top 3. Tigers leading the Eagles 4-1 back in 60 on your Tigers radio network. Welcome back on AM 1400 KBCH here in the top of the third with the Tigers leading the Eagles 4-1. It'll be the 9-1-2 batters for the Eagles as Coach Flores heads down to the third base box, and Coach Asher Lucas in the first base box for the Eagles. Dylan Leon, who ended the last inning with a good defensive play to steal the line out from Eli DeMello, steps in for the first time today. As looks at a called strike, as in the first game, everybody for both teams went 1 through 9 in the lineup in the first. This time, though, the number 9 hitter leads off the top of the third with a strike to senior starter Bleiz Kimbrough. Misses outside with a ball, as the big lefty's been on a good streak of play for the Tigers. Fortunately, last Friday, he lost his start to Devin Jackson, a 3-2 lefty showdown in that game between 2 of the top pitchers in Special District 1. That pitch misses for ball number 2 to Leanne. So 2-1 count, and that one is in there for strike 2. On deck is the leadoff man, Mike Hart, who had a 5-3 ground out to Eli to start the game off. 2-2 for Bleiz, and he gets him swinging on the outside heater for the second strikeout of the game for Bleiz. He's now 30 on the season, as Eli DeMello leads the team with 31 strikeouts, but Bleiz, well, I would put money that Bleiz beats him today. As the bunt is laid down by Hart, Bleiz fields, throws to Fico, and the throw brings him off the bag. Good play by Mike Hart. As we saw Braden Wells try it back in the last inning, and it ended the inning for the Eagles. Instead, this time, Mike Hart is able to use the little bunt, get down to first base as he gives him a base runner. So it'll bring up now Wyatt Hoke. With a runner at first and 1 down, Bleiz moves to the stretch, and that pitch misses outside to Hoke for ball 1. Hoke, he flew out to Darius for the second out of the inning in the first. Darius didn't have to work too hard to make the play. This one is low and inside for ball 1. Or a 2-0 count now, excuse me. On deck is the new pitcher, Sean Wanzoli. He started the game at catcher. This one hit to first base. Fico, he goes to second after making a great play. Cody unable to make the throw as Bleiz just unable to get there in time. Same with the second baseman, Ethan Thomas. So it goes down as a fielder's choice ground out, but the Tigers get the leadoff man on the 3-6 ground out. So 2 down now as Wyatt Hoke is safe at first. So Sean Wanzoli now comes to the plate with a runner at first and 2 down in a 4-1 game, top 3, as that one just misses high and away But again, a good spot to miss if you're Bleiz. That one's not a real hittable pitch, and it's close to the zone. So he tries it again, throwing from the stretch, this time with Wyatt Hoke on first base. And this one hit hard. Cody, can he get to it? No. The second time today, Cody's arms are just 3 inches or less from making an out. Instead, it is the second hit of the inning, this time for Sean Wanzo-Lee. On the single, will bring up Jed Waylon Stewart with 2 on and 2 down, as Hoke, unable to advance very far on the play because it was hit into left field. Darius got to it quickly. So 4 hits allowed so far by Bleiz, but only 1 run. This one hit softly up the middle. It's going to get through. Cody will get to it. He slides. He goes hard home on the throw. Caden gets it, but he's unable to get the tag in time. So back-to-back hits by Sean Wanzo-Lee, and now Jed Waylon Stewart gets an RBI single, and it's now a 4-2 ball game as Wyatt Hoke comes across to score here in the top of the 3rd inning, as timely hitting by the Eagles are starting to get themselves back into it. So Eamon Walsh now at the plate for the Eagles, and he's swinging strike 1 as Eamon got on via a walk. He scored the first run of the game in the 2nd inning. On deck is the left fielder, Dylan George. Goes back inside. This time he misses. So 1-1 count to Walsh at the plate for the senior. So 4-2 ball game, top 3. There's the pitch, misses outside, ball 2. So 5 hits, 3 here in the inning for Bleiz. 2 runs scored for the Eagles, trying to limit this as gets strike 2. Can end this one himself now with a 2-2 count, 2 down. The Tigers are going to want to get busy at the plate. Be the 3, 4, 5 hitters for the Tigers in the bottom of the 3rd. He's trying to get him there. Here's the 2-2 curveball. It's low in the dirt. Here's the play at 3rd as good heads-up play by Sean Wanzo-Lee to be able to get down and steal 3rd base on that play, as that one was in the turf for Caden, and it's now a full count at the plate for Eamon Walsh. There's the 3-2, fouled back into the cage. We'll do it again as Dylan George runs over to go pick up the loose ball. Coach Flores speaks with his guy at 3rd, and Wanzo-Lee over at first base is Jed Waylon Stewart. And he's the one that drove in the first run this inning of Wyatt Hoke. So the 3-2. Swung, hit up the middle, and Cody heads back into the shallow infield grass and makes the catch on the soft pop-up for the final out of the inning. F6 as the Eagles, they get 3 hits. They leave 2 on the bases. They score 1 run. We had bottom 3 with the Tigers leading the Eagles 4-2 back in 60 seconds on your Tigers Radio Network. Welcome back on AM 1400 KBCH here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Eagles, they 0 runs in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. Now it is the Tigers' turn here to come to the plate in the bottom of the third in game 2 of this doubleheader. They won the first game by a score of 22-5 in 5 short innings. As Tigers with the 4-2 lead right here. Each team is 3-2 overall in Special District 2 standings, pending the results of the other games today. So Tigers know that at worst, or at best, they will be all alone in second place with a victory today. It'll be Cody Knott at the plate for the second time today. He popped up in foul territory. As he pops up again this time. As it comes back, and I feel awfully protected in my cocoon up here, but apparently that one took quite the turn once it got over the cage and then tried to make a beeline towards the concession stands. Yeah, they've been the concession stand's been a very popular place today, especially in the first game. High curveball misses. Ball 2 to Cody, or ball 1, 1-1 count now. Because when you get cold and wet, you want to eat food to stay warm. Great facilities here at the pit in Lincoln City. The 1-1 count to Cody, and that pitch misses low. Ball 2 as catcher Mike Hart had to do a good job of blocking that. Of course, nobody on the base pass right now, so more just practice for when you do have base runners. Here's the 2-1 from Shanwanzo Lee. And Cody takes this one to left field. It's going to get down and fair. Dylan George gets to it. Cody turns it first, and he's going to just use the wheels and say, second base is all mine. He dove early. Someone's going to have to teach that boy how to body surf because he dove early there and then popped up before the bag for Cody Knott. That's second double today. He had one earlier in the first game, and Tigers lead off with a hit. It brings up the other senior, Ty Fisher, with another senior on deck in Bleiz Kimbrough. The 3 seniors bat 3, 4, 5. They thought they were going to have a 4th senior. He would have been in that 3, 4, 5, 6 spot had Cam Kessler been available. A big loss for the Tigers, but they know that they still have a very talented group of players. A 1-0 count for Ty, as he was all league last year as a center fielder, as takes a big cut that time. Strike 1 at the plate. As the Eagles players were telling me, do I have a home run call? I feel like I've got Panic at the Disco lined up as that curveball misses inside, and Cody Knott says, I'm going to steal your third base if you're going to let me. As 2-1 count for Ty at the plate as Cody gets into third safely. So Ty, RBI opportunity just 90 feet away for the Tigers here. Bottom 3, spot of wind moving out towards center field. As Wanzo Lee from the stretch, this one hit hard on the wrist by Ty. It gets to the second baseman, Leanne. Here's the throw to first base, and it allows Cody not to score. So it'll be an RBI ground out for Ty on the 4-3. He gets the ribby first out of the inning as Ty scores Cody to make it a 5-2 game here, bottom 3, as Tigers, as we said, game 2 looks like it's going to be a little bit different than game number 1, so runs are a priority. So Bleiz Kimbrough comes to the plate now for the second time in game number 2 and looks at ball number 1 outside as Bleiz had an RBI single that scored Ty in the second inning. It was the first run of the game batted in for the Tigers, and then Trenton Hall would courtesy run for Bleiz and come around to score. This one inside on the wrist again. It's popped up, and this time Dylan Leon able to take his time to make the catch on the pop-up to the second baseman. And there's now 2 down for the Tigers as sophomore first baseman Fico Ramos will come to the plate. Earlier, Fico had a 6-3 ground out. It was the first out of the inning in the second. So Wanzo Lee is in with strike number 1 to Fico. As it's been an overcast day here at the pit. Gray skies. Fortunately, it's a lot nicer out than perhaps looks in the air, as that one is low. And Mike Hart didn't see where that one went, as that one hit right in front of the plate. It bounces all the way to the fence. Darius picks it up. It's a 1-1 count for Fico. as Darius had an RBI double that drove in Trenton. And the second, here's the 1-1, and that one it misses outside, ball 2. So control's been the name of the game for the pitchers today, and that usually is a big difference, as not a deep roster for the Eagles. They brought just 10 to the coast today. 2-1, nicks the outside corner, strike 2 for Fico. So Fico came into the day hitting 300. So he had the ground out here in game number 2. Had a double and 3 walks in game number 1, as that pitch misses, ball 3. So Fico with 8 hits on the season. Seeing if he can collect number 9 in this situation. With a full count and 2 down, bottom of the 3rd, nobody on. Here's the pitch, and it's in the dirt for the 4th walk of the day for Fico. As the first baseman's been getting a lot of action over at first base. Brings up Darius Smith. So Darius, we mentioned, had the RBI double in the second. He's 2 for 2 his last 2 appearances at the plate with doubles. All right, first pitch swinging foul. That one hit in foul territory behind the plate and then came fair. On deck is Caden Heineman. He's still got his shin guards on, the catcher. As a freshman, he's pulling double-header duties. As a freshman catcher, you know you're a talented one if you're able to do that. They'll expect big things from him in the future. The 0-1 misses high to Darius. So 1-1 count. Fico with good speed at first base. Not a big lead for the sophomore right now with the right-hander Wanzo Lee in the stretch. Here's the check down throw. Not in time. Walsh doesn't bother applying to make the tag, so we'll try it again now with a 1-1 and Smith at the plate. The Tigers, no runs in the first, 4 runs in the second, 1 so far here in the 3rd. Another check throw, and Walsh did a good job of coming forward to make that catch. Wanzo Lee's throw was low, and if Walsh doesn't come forward, there's a chance that that one may skip by him, and then Fico's at second base. 1-1 with 2 outs, and it gets the outside corner. Strike 2 looking against Darius. So 0 got to protect the plate now. Anything close. And Darius, he tends to be a pull hitter, but there's a chance right now that with big gap in right field along the line, that pitch misses outside. Good eye from the sophomore outfielder. As Aiden Sharon Hall is playing almost in the right center field gap right now. Tigers put anything hard down the right field line. It's got extra bases as Fico takes off, and here's the ball 3. That pitch is high. Hart's throw is a bit high as Fico was safe as the throw was late anyways, but a full count now for Darius. So Fico, I'll see perhaps if on a 3-2 pitch, maybe he takes off for third base. Here with 2 down, he doesn't. Here's the hit from Darius into left field. Sky high for Dylan George, who turns, gets the hips crossed up, and the ball falls cleanly for Fico to score, and Darius is already at second base for another RBI for 0. He's got 2 today as Fico. He's got his first run scored. And the Tigers now go up 6-2 with their second run this inning. And it'll bring up the freshman catcher, Caden Heineman. As Dylan George, one of the rules as an outfielder, typically your first step should always be backwards. As this one hit hard to Jed Waylon Stewart, the one-hopper, here's the throw to first. It brings Walsh off the bag, and he dives under the tag, and he's safe. A great move by Caden to see that the throw ball brought Walsh off the bag. He's able to dive, and he gets in there with the base hit. As Darius now down to third. Time is called as Caden is allowed the courtesy runner, being that he's a catcher. So brother Lucas comes out again. So 6-2 ball game, bottom three. And it'll be Ethan Thomas, the second baseman. He popped up in foul territory. He popped up to the catcher, I want to say. So 6-2 ball game, bottom three, runners on the corners. We'll see if Lucas takes off with Wanzo Lee in the stretch. He does. Here's the throw from Mike Hart, and he's safe at second, and Darius Smith will score on the play. So 2 stolen bases for the Tigers. Darius takes home, makes it a 7-2 ball game as Lucas steals second. That's his second stolen base of the day. Ball called at the plate to Ethan Thomas. That's now 7-3 Tigers. That pitch is high and inside for ball 2. Now to Ethan. On deck is the leadoff man, Trenton Fisher. Trenton has 2 doubles today with an RBI. He's yet to score a run. He's on deck. There are 2 outs, though. Bit more wind picking up out at center field. That pitch is low from Wanzo Lee, ball 3. So the Eagles, right now today, I don't think they brought a single senior out to the coast, as that pitch is in there for strike 1. 3-1 count now for Ethan. As they don't have a single senior available on the roster. Of course, sometimes you got to take those licks as a team to develop, as Ethan hits this one hard down the third base line and foul. The second time he's done that today, as he had one earlier in the first game. Ethan in game number 2 here. So far he's popped up. In game 1 he had a 4-3 ground out and 2 walks. And then he also scored 1 run. This is a short chopper back to the pitcher who comes off the hill. Here's the toss to first in time to Walsh to get the final out of the inning. 1-3 ground out for the Tigers. They score 3 runs. They get 2 hits, or they get 3 hits in the inning, and they leave just 1 on the bases. They lead 7-2 going into the top of the 4th, back in 60 on your Tigers Radio Network. Welcome back on AM 1400 KBCH as Taft Tigers lead the Catlin Gabel Eagles here 7-2 in the top of the 4th, as Catlin Gabel brings their 6, 7, 8 hitters to the lineup. As it'll be Dylan George, the right fielder, leading things off. He had a single back in the 2nd inning for the Eagles. They have 5 hits in this game. For the Tigers, so far they have 8 hits. As first pitch, ball to Bleiz. In game number 1, the Eagles only had 3 hits on the game. They did score 5 runs, but it was in part because of walks and hit batters by the Tigers pitchers. As he gets George swinging strike 1. So 1-1 count for Dylan George. As a freshman, getting his experience in here. As he looks at strike number 2, called outside corner. On deck is the center fielder Braden Wells. Braden just a sophomore. as he gets them swinging inside, and Caden just picks it up and tags him out on the drop strike 3 for Bleiz. That is now his 3rd strikeout of the day, and he's tied with Eli in strikeouts with 31 on the season. As always, something teammates want to jockey for, especially pitchers who can throw the most heaters by somebody. So 1 down, top 4. For the Tigers, if they can get through this inning quickly and then plate 5 runs in the bottom of the 4th, they've got a chance to make it another 5-run game without having to bat in the bottom of the 5th. And Wells, a big cut right there. He goes down 0-2 quickly to Bleiz, as his front foot was nowhere to be found in the batter's box. Not a good sign. Bleiz, crafty one, comes in with the curveball, rings him up looking, as Bleiz now the team leader in strikeouts with 32 on the season, 4 today through 3 2/3 action. So again, he's right on top of his averages, where he's averaging about 1 per inning. This will bring up the designated hitter now, Aiden Sheeran Honnell. So the lefty, he whiffs at that one, as Sheeran Honnell is just a freshman going up against the senior southpaw, who's got a lot of action on his breaking pitches. He goes fastball this time, or down the plate, as Sheeran Honnell keeps the bat on the shoulders. The lefty, he's in tight, but he's going to have to swing a big stick here, down 0-2 with 2 down, top 4 against Kimbrough. He goes back, and this one gets a bat on it, but it goes right to Eli, who makes the quick throw for the 5-3 ground out for Bleiz. He's unable to strike out the side, but the Tigers get him to go 3 up, 3 down. We head to the bottom of the 4th with the leadoff man, Trenton Fisher, leading things off for the Tigers when we return in 60 seconds on your Tigers Radio Network. Where Trenton Fisher leads off the bottom of the 5th against Sean Wanzo Lee here in a 7-2 ball game, with Tigers on top of the Eagles. They won game number 1 by a score of 22-5. First pitch to Trenton is high for ball number 1, as Trenton's got 2 hits on the day. I've got them generously listed both as doubles. I'm pretty sure the coaches will list the second one as a single, though. That one is inside for ball 2. In the first game, Trenton went 2 for... Oh, he went 3 for... no, that was Lucas who came into the game. He went 3 for... Oh, my goodness, I can't even read a scorebook right now. He went 2 for 4 in the first game with 2 singles. So on the day, he's got 4 hits and 6 at-bats, as he's got a 3-0 count right now. This would be his first walk. That was what was throwing me up. I was trying to figure out how many walks Trenton's had today. He's about the only player that's yet to draw a base on balls, and he leads the team in walks. Well, now he's got his first walk of the day, as Wanzo Lee misses him in 4. As it'll be Eli DeMello now to the plate. Eli today 0 for 2 in this second game. He's got a ground out and a line out. Looks at ball 1 inside. Some stats on the first game. The Tigers scored 22 runs on 9 hits. They had 8 left on base and 0 errors. As this one fouled back into the cage. And then for the Eagles in that first game, they had 5 runs on 3 hits, 6 left on base with 3 errors. Here in game number 2, Tigers have 1 error. The Eagles yet to make an error. Pitch outside, 2-1 count now for Eli. So Trenton, he has taken a few bases as back in the first game he had 2 stolen bases. Yet to take off here with a 2-1 count. Wanzo Lee from the stretch, check throw to first base, tag applied, not in time. As Trenton on top of it on the base pass. As Mom and Dad wouldn't let him live that one down if he got thrown out there. He's not taking a big lead at first, but Wanzo Lee wanted to keep him there. Perhaps Trenton's going to take off. Nope, secondary lead. Not a big one. Curveball misses outside. 3-1 count for Eli. And so far here in game number 2, Tigers have 8 hits on the 7 runs that they've scored. Get a win moving out to center field. The 3-1 hit down the first base side, and nobody's there because the runner's on first. Trenton's going to advance to third base. The throw from the right fielder will come in and hold Eli at first. So Eli's first hit of game number 2 sends Trenton all the way over to third base, and it brings up Cody Knott. As Tigers, as we said, up 5, they need to score 5 more if they want to have 2 quick 5-run games, though first game was long because of how many walks were issued by both teams. As Trailblazers and Thunder game is getting ready to tip off right now. We'll bring you that game in coverage. Once this one's over, Cody Knott trying to send this one over the fence. Instead, it's off the fence. He's got 2. He's going to stop at 2 as he plates 2. And it's now a 9-2 Tiger lead as Cody Knott just tried to take one out of the field of play. And he got robbed by about 4 feet. He hit it about 6 feet up off the fence. He needed to go another 4 feet out in left center field. He's been murdering the baseball today. I don't know if that one still has laces on it. His second double of the game is a 2 RBI double that scores both Trenton and Eli easily. As Ty comes to the plate, and that pitch is thrown behind, all 6'6" to Ty Fisher. So Cody over at second. He's been the man with the bat if you need to bring somebody home. You need RBI services, you call Cody Knott. 1-0 count for Ty Fisher as that one gets in front of Mike Hart, and Cody halfway down the base path will get into third base easily on the passed ball. So nobody out. 2-0 count for the Tigers. Ty Fisher here in the bottom of the 4th. As Cody would be run number 10, Ty would be 11, and on deck, Bleiz represents number 12. Then the Tigers would have to get out of the top of the 5th without giving any runs. As Ty looks at his first strike, 2-1 count for Sean Wanzo Lee to senior center fielder Ty Fisher. He's swinging, this one fouled, and that's off the foot. Or it's off the lower body. I don't know if it's off the foot, shin, or what, but Ty will take a few paces and pick up the baseball bat. He will stay as Coach Hilgers is going to say, come talk to me. Tell me what's going on. He says, I don't want to. I want to hit. That's my proverbial rubbing some dirt on it. He says, Coach, I'm good. Let's do this again. The 2-2 count from Wanzo Lee. Curveball misses away. 3-2 count now for Ty. So after taking one off the leg, he's got himself a full count here. With Cody Knott 90 feet away. And here goes the throw to third as Cody, they called him out as that's the first out as Jed Waylon Stewart makes a heck of a tag, and Coach Hilgers, he's right there to look at it. He's not protesting it. So Cody getting a little bit cocky perhaps as he gets thrown out on the bases at third base on a 1-5 throw out. And Tai, a strikeout at the plate, and it's now 2 down. So after having a runner at third, nobody out, a check throw and a throw to the plate, have the Tigers now with 2 outs and nobody on for Bleiz Kimbrough. First pitch swinging to Wyatt Hoke, who makes the catch, and the throw is good to first baseman Eamon Walsh in time for the ground out. So the Tigers, they score 2 runs here in the fourth, but they're unable to score any more after a good heads-up play by Sean Wanzo Lee, a ground out and a strikeout to end the inning. We go top 5 back in 60 seconds on your Tigers Radio Network. Welcome back on AM 1400 KBCH here in the top of the 5th inning. Bleiz Kimbrough, who's gone all 4 innings so far with 4 strikeouts, will continue on the mound as he'll be facing the 9-1-2 batters. It will be Dylan Leon here in the top of the 5th, followed by leadoff man Mike Hart and then number 2 hitter Wyatt Hoke. As the Eagles, it's not a run rule effect situation. They trail by 7, but at this point, after we hit the 5th inning, if the Tigers are able to make some noise, they'll be able to make a difference. And for Coach Hilgers, he is going to make a substitution right now as Tai Fisher is not running so well. As he comes in from center field, it looks like Tai's day is done. Trenton Hall will head out to right field as Trenton Fisher now moves to center field. So both Trentons in the outfield. It's Little Fish in center and the linebacker Hall. Don't know why I erased Trenton there. Just need to note Trenton Hall in right field. It's a good thing there isn't a third Trenton. You could go with an all Trenton outfield right now. Bring Darius in the infield. That would get confusing. So with a pitch yet to be recorded, we do have a defensive substitution. As we said, Trenton Fisher goes from right field to center. Tai Fisher exits the ball game after fouling a pitch off his leg or ankle. And then Trenton Hall comes in to play right field. So Bleiz starts off against Leon, the 9-hitter, and that pitch is high for ball 1 to Leon, who had a strikeout in his only at-bat of the game so far, as it's his second time through the lineup here in the top of the 5th. His second time through the lineup came in the 3rd inning in the first game, and it's a 2-0 count now for Leon, as Tigers, one inning they brought 18 batters to the plate. They scored 13 runs in the bottom of the 2nd in game 1. So that one fouled back into the cage. First strike from Leon, who started the day in left field in game number 2. He's since moved back to second base where he started game number 1. As appeared to be perhaps a defensive substitution by Coach Flores after where the Tigers hit the ball in game 1. Another pitch misses high, ball 3 for Bleiz. So the 3-1-2 Leon misses outside as he draws a leadoff walk to get on base, and that will bring up Mike Hart now to the plate for the Eagles as they try and get themselves back in it, down 9-2 here. as they came in second place in league standings with a 3-1 league record. And now 3-2. Tigers are 3-2. As Bleiz, that pitch apparently just a bit high to Mike Hart, the third baseman. As Mike Hart actually is no longer the third baseman, he is the catcher. As Jed Wayland Stewart is the third baseman now. 1-0 count. He gets him swinging, strike one. As Tigers, just that one defensive substitution. It still is Caden behind the plate, Fico at first, Ethan Thomas at second base, Eli at third, Cody at shortstop, Darius in left field. Trenton is now in center, and Trenton Hall in right field. Bleiz going to step off the hill for a moment as Hart steps back in with a 1-1 count. Nobody down here in the top of the fifth inning. As that pitch gets the upper outside part of the plate, strike two now for Hart. Has two ground outs. He had a 5-3 ground out, and he had a 4-6 ground out. He had a single, excuse me. He's 1 for 2. As this one popped up on the infield, as Thomas comes forward, he's unable to get the throw, but because the runner, Leon, was at first base, unable to advance because it was popped up in the air, the Tigers are able to get the fielder's choice ground out. So Mike Hart goes to first base, but it goes down as another 4-6 throw out. This time it happens with Hart at the plate instead of on the bases. So Wyatt Hoke will come to the plate now with Hart at first base. And he gets strike one on the outside corner. So one down, top five, with the Tigers leading the Eagles by 7. As we said on Tuesday, the Tigers will have a home game against Clatskanie, and then it's practically all road games at that point. Curveball is in for strike number 2 to Hoke. Bleiz with 4 strikeouts on the day. He's gone 4 1/3. So he's at 30 1/3 innings so far on the season. As that one misses outside, Caden unable to make the catch, but ball stays in front, so Hart unable to go anywhere at first base. So 1-2 count for Hoke at the plate. On deck is Sean Wanzo Lee, the pitcher. As 1-2 hit hard up the middle, but Cody's right there. He steps on the bag. Here's the throw to Fico for the double play. The 6-3 double play ground out ends the inning for the Tigers. As no hits, no runs left on base, as Tigers go bottom 5, trying to score 3 runs and make this game another quick one. They lead the Eagles back in 60 on your Tigers Radio Network. Zero. 2 for the Tigers. 0. Bottom 5. 9-2. Yeah, so 1 run in the second and 1 in the third for Catlin Gabel. For Taft, 4 in the second, 3 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Yep. So we're here in the bottom of the 5th inning with the Tigers leading the Eagles by a score of 9-2. It's going to be Fico Ramos at the plate for the 3rd time in game number 2, although it'll just be his 2nd at-bat, as last time he drew a full count walk, get a stolen base, and come around to score in the 3rd inning. He also has a ground out. As Fico came into the day hitting over 400 in league play, had a 292 average, and in game number 1 for the sophomore, he had 3 walks and a double. So young man's 1 for 2 combined today with 4 walks. As this will be then his third at-bat of the game. So Fico, he's drawn 9 walks on the season now. He had 5 coming into the day. A 1-0 count already. Takes a cut. This one's hit to a Hoke at shortstop. It's a slow dribbler. He comes forward, makes the catch, and gets the first out of the inning on the 6-3 grounder to Fico for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. It'll bring up Darius Smith for the Tigers. As Taft, if they can score 3 this inning, then we get to go to the Blazers game. If not, then we'll keep playing and we'll wait to bring you the Blazers game. As that pitch is outside for a ball to Darius. And for the Tigers, the way this game's played out, with Bleiz pitching quickly and efficiently, you'd like to see him get out of this game quickly so that he's got full availability possibly for Tuesday's game against Klatskanai. Of course, Eli, that one's fouled back into the cage, 1-1 count for Darius. Eli in the first game, he saw 6 batters and just did not have the control that we're used to seeing from him, and that probably a little attributable to the weather, as neither pitcher early on in the game number 1 had much control. Good pitch misses inside for ball 2 to Darius from Sean Zoli. As young man's mostly been playing catcher, but back in the second inning, he took over on the hill for Kellen Woodcock, who had started the game. That pitch misses outside 3-1. Woodcock got an injury somewhere, not going to speculate where, but it was clear that when he tried to do some warm-up pitches, that in the process of the delivery, just unable to even release the ball. That one misses inside for a walk to Darius, his first walk in this game, as he had 2 doubles previously. So that breaks the double streak for Darius, as he's hit 3 of them today. And the young man who's hitting .296 on the season coming in is going to see those numbers rise. So it'll bring up now the freshman catcher, Caden Heineman. I've been saying a lot of good things about this young man so far. First pitch foul out of play, as he got on twice today. So both singles. So the 0-1 skips in the dirt, and Darius is going to take off for second on the play, as Mike Hart lost that one and was right in front, but he just couldn't see it. So a 1-1 count, as Darius has stolen base. And Caden, a runner in scoring position here. Tigers need to score 3 to end this game. So that means the on-deck batter, Ethan Thomas, would be the winning run. As this one hit into left center field, Darius went back to second, didn't need to tag, and that probably keeps him from scoring on the play, as Cade now has 3 singles today in game number 2, and he's at first base for Ethan Thomas, who will come to the plate with runners on the corners. Ethan represents the game-winning run here, as Sean Wanzoli speaking with Wyatt Hoke. For the 3rd time, Lucas will go out and pinch run for little brother. And with the Tigers trying to get through this game quickly, you might see Lucas take off here. So Leanne and Hoke preparing for it. This one hit to Hoke, and it goes off the front of the glove. He steps on the bag. The throw to first is in time for the 6-3 ground out that keeps the run from Darius from plating. So while he wasn't able to field it cleanly, because it was hit right at the bag, he's able to touch the bag, make the throw in time for the double play. The Tigers, they get 1 hit, but they get 1 runner left on, or they get 2 hits, and they leave 1 on the base pass. We'll be back in 60 seconds in the top of the 6th here on your Tigers Radio Network. So Jordan Hall on the mound now. Welcome back on AM 1400 KBCH, where we go to the top of the sixth inning with the Taft Tigers leading the Catlin Gabel Eagles by a score of 9-2. Coming up after this broadcast, we'll bring you Trailblazers basketball at the 7:15 mark in the first quarter. The Blazers lead the Zombie Sonics, as I like to call them, by a score of 8-7. As they say, it's not a series until a road team wins a game, but if the Blazers win today, then it's not really going to be a series, as they'll go up 3-0. Once the conclusion of this game happens, we'll give you a quick recap of both games, as Tigers won game one by a score of 22-5. They had 9 hits in game number one. They had 8 runners left on base, no errors. And for Catlin Gabel, they scored 5 runs on 3 hits with 6 left on base, and they had 3 errors. Here in the top of the sixth, it'll be the pitcher, Sean Zo Lee, who leads things off. The 3-4-5 batters for the Eagles, with Jed Waylon Stewart on deck and Eamon Walsh in the hole. For the Tigers, Jordan Hall is now on the mound, replacing Bleiz Kimbrough, with pitch inside to Zo Lee, ball number 1. So Bleiz heads back to first base. Fico, who is at first, goes to third base. Eli, who is at third base, goes to second. This one's hit to Fico at third, the one hopper. Here's the throw from Ramos in time to get the out easily. Good play by Fico on the throw there after his first throw in game number one. Looked like didn't have the arm for it that time. Not a problem. Playing from the hot corner for the sophomore. So Jordan throwing to Caden. One down. As Waylon Stewart comes up swinging and fouls that one out of play. Outfield for the Tigers, Darius Smith in left field. Trenton Fisher moved to center field last inning, replacing Ty, who was replaced by Trenton Hall, who's in right field. As Ty fouled a pitch off his leg, and Coach Hildress said, take the day off after that. Chopper back to Jordan, makes the catch, and a quick throw to Bleiz at first base on the 1-3 ground out. Good heads-up play by Jordan as the pitcher, being able to come off the mound and then make that grab, and a good throw to first base in time for the second out. Brings up Eamon Walsh, the first baseman. So Eamon today with a walk and a pop-up to Cody to end the third inning. So a scoreless fifth for both teams. We're here top six, a 1-0 count for Walsh. That pitch misses inside a bit. Not by much, though, from Jordan. A good spot to miss. As on deck is the right fielder, Dylan George, who's 1 for 2 today with a single and a strikeout. That pitch in the dirt. Good block by Caden. Even though nobody's on, you still want to see the effort all the way through. So Coach Flores for the Eagles in his third season in the third base box. Coach Asher Lucas in the first base box. And that one looked good, but it just missed inside for ball number 4. A 4-pitch walk to Eamon Walsh puts him at first base. First base runner of the inning for the Eagles after 2 ground outs by Zo Lee and Waylon Stewart. We'll bring Dylan George to the plate with 1 on. Waylon Stewart gets a decent lead, a swing inside and a miss by George. On deck is Braden Wells. Braden, one of 2 lefty batters. Right now it's Hall, righty versus righty. That one gets behind Hindman, and that allows Eamon Walsh to hustle on down to second base and put himself in scoring position. A 1-1 count now for Dylan George at the plate. Lady Tigers, they are off today because Catlin Gabel doesn't have a softball team. Bit of wind moving out of center field. As good-looking strike down the middle of the plate for Hall. Makes it a 1-2 count now for George. Taft leading Catlin Gabel by 7. Next week, home against Clatskanie, and then Friday doubleheader at Rainier. As curveball misses, good block by Caden. 2-2 count, as that doubleheader at Rainier is going to be a big game for the Tigers. Rainier got a win yesterday over Clatskanie, their first win of the season. They're tied with Clatskanie, 1-2 in league play. Another chopper back to the mound. This time it's hit harder to Jordan, who makes the easy catch. And another 1-3 ground out ends the inning with no hits, one left on base for the Eagles. We go bottom 6, back in 60 on your Taft Tigers Radio Network. Welcome back on AM 1400 KBCH. I'm Eric Goss. As I want to thank our Tiger sponsors, Power Fort, Kenny's IG8, Lincoln City Visitor Convention Bureau, and Lincoln City Parks and Rec, Waddell and Reed, Moe's Restaurants, Lincoln City Sporting Goods, Charlotte Lato at Farmers Insurance, George Moreland Plumbing, Most Wanted Painters, and Wildwood Design. You can visit our website, kbcham.com, to find podcasts of these games. As Trenton Fisher starts off the inning swinging with foul tip. Strike one to the pitcher, Sean Wanzo Lee, who's done a good effort in relief ever since he came on against Darius Smith. So after 1 1/3, Woodcock left, and Trenton gets this one little Texas leaguer into left field. And for Trenton, wow, 3 hits here in game number 2. And that is after Trenton had 2 hits. He's got 5 hits today. That means Little Fish is at 19 on the season. He's had a great day at the plate, as that'll bring Eli DeMello. The Tigers, again, they need to score 3 this inning to end the game. So you got the top of the order, 1, 2, 3. 1 just got on, 2's at the plate, and Eli looks at ball 1 outside from Wanzo Lee. On deck is Cody Knott. And then in the hole would normally be the 4-hitter, Ty Fisher, but he exited the game. So Trenton Hall will be batting in that spot. That pitch is high for ball 2 to Eli. It's been a little bit more judicious. He's 1 for 3 today. Didn't have a whole lot of looks in game number 1, as he had 3 walks, went 0 for 2 with a fly out and a pop out. So on the day, Eli is actually 1 for 5 with 3 walks. But he gets a hit here. He goes 2 for 6, and as they say, 1 for 3 at the plate. It's a great day. As gets underneath this one, hits it into right field. It could be trouble for Aiden Sheeran-Honnell, as that one goes off the glove. Eli can't overrun Trenton, who couldn't advance on that. He had to wait and see if Sheeran-Honnell was able to come up with the catch. But it goes off the glove, as that'll be E9. It gets as we said, it gets Eli on the bases, as Tai, who would be on the hole or on deck, is instead done for the day. So Trenton Hall on deck for Cody Knott, as Cody now represents the winning run, as that pitch is inside for a ball 1. And we mentioned in his last swing, he put it off the fence out in left center field. It's 365 to dead center. It's 310 to the wall, so call that around 345 or so. Hits this one hard to Whalen at third. He steps on the bag for out number 1, and the throw to third will not be in time. Eli sees the heads-up play after the throw, advances to third. So Eli goes first to third on the play. It'll be a fielder's choice ground out for Cody, who is safe at first. So Trenton is out on the 5 unassisted. One down for the Tigers. Trenton Hall at the plate now. He is the winning run for the Tigers. Cody Knott with a lead at first base. Corner infield in. Middle infield plays back with one out. Here's the throw to second. Cody is safe at second. Eli had a chance to take off for home, but he didn't. It's a 1-0 count at the plate for Trenton Hall. His first at bat today. He had operated as a pinch runner earlier. So runners at second and third. Curveball misses from Wanzo Lee. He'll try it again. Down 2-0 to Trenton Hall at the plate. And then on deck is just Bleiz Kimbrough. Went 5 innings on the hill today. Had 4 strikeouts. A big cut from Trenton Hall. He goes down 2-1 now. But that's the kind of swing you'd like to see from your reserve players called into action. You want to see him keep an aggressive mentality at the plate. So 2-1 count with 1 out, bottom 6. As he gets this one inside, it's going to drop in the outfield as Eli waiting to tag. Cody hustles around. There's 10. Here comes 11 as Trenton Hall slides into second base with a 2-run single for the junior. A great piece of hitting by the young man to watch that play go inside out, as it's now an 11-2 ball game. And if Bleiz can drive home Trenton, this ball game is over, as it'll be a 10-run margin. As Wanzo Lee perhaps is aware of that, is talking to his outfielders, telling them they need to come in a little bit. If anything gets over your head, he's scoring anyways. As Bleiz comes up, first pitch swinging, strike one, foul. As he knocks that one down the third baseline, Coach Hildress throws it back to Wanzo Lee on the hill. 0-1 count. A little bit of wind moving from home plate out towards center field, but not much. Haven't had any rain here in game number 2 as Wanzo Lee goes home, and that one fouled back into the cage. 0-2 count for Bleiz. As he's almost right on line with it. On deck is Fico Ramos. As Fico in the second game has 2 ground outs to the shortstop and a walk. Bleiz does have an RBI single that scored tie. This one's hit to the second baseman, Leanne. He scoops. Here's the throw to first, and it's in time to get Bleiz. It advances Trenton Hall to third base. So a 4-3 ground out gets the second out of the inning, and it brings up Fico Ramos. A base hit wins the game for Fico. An out, and we go top 7, where the Tigers will have to get 3 more outs to end this game. So Wanzo Lee from the stretch. First pitch in the dirt. On deck is Darius Smith. Darius, he's got 3 doubles today. He's got 2 RBIs in this second game. These Tigers with 2 hits so far in the inning, looking for hit number 3. That one is outside, misses, ball 2 to Fico. Taft is at 13 hits here in game number 2 after having 9 hits in the first game. And this one fouled out of play as Fico, a little too underneath that one. Like something you might see from Coach Morgan's golf squad from the sandbox, but a 2-1 count for Fico. He had 3 walks in the first game with a double. He's got 4 walks on the day. Pitch is high, ball 3. One of the things I said was that Fico, he had 5 walks coming into the day. He's at 4. A ball right here would mean he has as many walks in 2 games today as he had in his previous 15. That pitch is high for ball number 4 to Fico. So it is his 5th walk of the day. Now Darius comes to the plate. There's 2 outs in the inning, so for the Tigers, the most important guy really is Trenton Hall at third base for Fico. He doesn't want to be out. on the base pass. He will go take second base, so there won't be a force-out situation. So 1-0 count for Darius. On deck is Caden Heinman, and with Caden, there's a spot to put Darius now at first base. There isn't a spot to put Caden anywhere. So Wanzo Lee continues. The 1-0 inside is now a 2-0. And for Caden, he's 3 for 3 today with 3 singles. And that's just in game number 1. In game number 2. In game number 1, he had a double, a walk, a single. He had a single, a walk, a hit by pitch, and a pop-up. So 2-1 count to Darius as he looks at his first strike. For the Taft Tigers on the season, knowing that Cam Kessler went out in the game against Brookings Harbor, and you like to see some of the guys, the younger players in the lineup, start to step up. A good job today by them, but they know they've got tougher games ahead. This one's hit up high to center field. Braden Wells, if he makes the catch, it's an out, and he does. So we go top 7 now after the flyout from Darius Smith in an 11-2 ball game. This is, unless the Eagles can tie it up with 9 runs, this is the final 3 outs when we come back in 60 seconds on your Tigers Radio Network. Thank you. Welcome back on AM 1400 KBCH here to the top of the 7th inning. It's Jordan Hall on the mound going up against center fielder Braden Wells. It's the final 3 outs here for the Eagles in the top of the 7th. After a quick game in the first one, 22-5 won by the Tigers. Game we're going to get you to after this one is the Trailblazers Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Thunder shooting woes. They only scored 21 points there in quarter number 1. The Blazers hold a 22-21 lead after 1. Braden Wells, first pitch swinging foul as the lefty. Got to do a better job of keeping that front foot in. That's a few times we've seen now today where he opens that stance up. It's not something you want to see as Catlin Gabel drives on down the hill here at the pit. It's been a great day for the Tigers here as they look to go 4-2 in league play, with their only 2 losses being last week to the number 4 team in the state, the Warrenton Warriors, who got both games. The first one 7-5, the second 3-2. First ball thrown by Trenton there to Braden Wells, so a 1-1 count. That one misses outside. 2-1 count for Wells. So the Tigers' numbers today, they will score 11 runs on 13 hits. They'll strand 5 runners on base. Unless they have another one, they'll only have 1 error in this game versus 2 as Wells. Big swing there from the sophomore. 2-2 count now for Jordan Hall as he looks for his first strikeout today. And this is outside for ball 3. And then on deck will be the right fielder, Aiden Sheeran-Honnell. And that one misses a lot, so walk allowed by Hall puts Braden Wells at first base, and will bring up Aiden Sheeran-Honnell, the designated hitter, although Honnell started the game as a designated hitter for Kellen Woodcock. He became rotation player after the injury to Woodcock. As that pitch low and inside almost hit him as he plays close at the plate. That pitch a 1-0 count now for Sheeran-Honnell with Dylan Leon on deck. It is the bottom of the lineup, so they had 7, 8, 9. 7 drew a walk. Number 8, Sharon Honnell's got a 2-0 count to Hall right now. No wind here at the pit. Hall steps off as Wells will hustle back to first base. A little side shuffle. So Jordan throwing to Caden with Bleiz at first, Eli at second, Fico at third, Cody at short, and called strike in at the plate for number 1 to Sharon Honnell. Darius in left field, Trenton Fisher in center field because Trenton Hall is in right field. Now the Catlin Gabel bus is parked in prime foul ball territory. There's the 2-1, and he gets a piece of bat on it. It's popped up in the air. Fico will come over from third base, make the catch for out number 1, F5 here in the top of the 7th. 2 more outs left for the Eagles, and it'll be Dylan Leon, the 9-hitter. So with the runner at first, double play possibility. We've seen each shortstop so far pull off the 6-3 double play. They did it at the same time, too, in back-to-back innings. So first pitch from Hall is high and inside to Dylan Leon, who drew a walk in his last at-bat. It was a 5-pitch walk. He has a strikeout in his first at-bat today. And then on deck is the leadoff man, Mike Hart, is 1 for 3. That strike called at the plate to Leon. Mentioned this is a very young team. As I said, there are no seniors that made the trip today, with Jackson Young and Jonathan Edelman not making the trip. I guess Wyatt Hoke, is the 1 senior. So you have 2 upperclassmen. They bat 1 and 2 with Hoke, and then I guess it's Eamon Walsh. It's not Mike Hart. Hart is also a freshman. He's a talented freshman at the top of the lineup, but that pitch misses. It's now a 3-1 count for Dylan Leon. Tigers not in a threat right here, but they'd like to get out of this game the way it is. Catlin Gabel wants to get on home. That pitch hits the outside corner, strike 2. 3-2 count now for Leanne. So Hall with another chance to get the out himself right now. As this one hit back up the middle, Hall turns. Oh, he's got to go to first as unable to field it cleanly. He's able to get the first out rather than a double play. As might have thought about how quickly he had to turn if he wanted to get the leadoff man. But for the Tigers, not really something you're looking for. Outs are the name of the game. If the Eagles end up scoring another run, not that big of a deal with Braden Wells advancing to second base, because there are now 2 outs for Mike Hart at the plate. As we said, 1 for 3 here in the second game. Curveball misses inside as Hart tried to stay in close. Let's see if that one would tag him, as he went 1 for 1 at the plate in game number 1 with a single and 2 hit by pitches. So Hart has 2 singles today, and he gets hit for the 3rd time today. It's now 2 on for the Eagles, and it'll be the senior, Wyatt Hoke, now coming to the plate against the junior, Jordan Hall. With 2 down, your top 7. So Hall from the stretch with runners on first and second. That pitch is high for a ball from Jordan, as Coach Hilgers has him pitching in relief here. The last 2 innings for Bleiz Kimbrough, who's got the start today, went 5 innings, and back-to-back hit batters as Wyatt Hoke now gets plunked in the back. So bases are now full, and they'll be full for Sean Wanzoli, who comes to the plate for the 4th time today in game number 2. He's got a strikeout, a single, and a ground out. Advanced as far as third base, as Caden will talk to Jordan real quickly here with Sean Wanzoli going over to talk to Coach Flores. In game number 1, he had 2 walks, and one of them was an RBI walk. He scored a run and had a ground out. That's been one of the problems for the Tigers. They've been more of their own worst enemies on the mound today than anything else. Of course, game number 1, the Tigers got a lot of those courtesy runs as well from lack of control from the Eagles. The Tigers looking for one more out as they don't have any place to put Sean Lee. He starts off with a ball outside. Good block by Caden. As Tigers lead by 9, you'll give up a run if you can score an out, at which point with 2 down the run wouldn't score. But strike from Jordan to Lee. But the point being for the Tigers right now, just focus rather than trying to be perfect. Letting your defense make a play for you with a 1-1. He gets him swinging. Strike 2. And Jordan now with an opportunity to end game number 2 via the strikeout here all by himself. Bases full for Sean Lee. Curveball comes inside and misses. Ball 2. Blaiz's dad, Jeff, next door, he wanted the called strike right there. You could hear it. Tiger fans are ready to head on home, watch that Trailblazers game. They want to see their team get 2 wins here today. Go to 4-2 in league play. This one popped up. It's going to come up over the cage, headed our way. As maybe you heard that one hit the deck in front of us. So 2-2 count. 2 down. Jed Waylon Stewart is on deck. He's 2 for 3 in game number 2. He comes to the plate. It means somebody scored. Here's the 2-2 curveball, misses outside. Just a little bit high in the zone when it came across the front of the plate, as that's where the strike is called. Strikes and balls are called at the front of the plate. There's the full count. They all take off, and they get them swinging to end the game. The Tigers win game number 2 by a score of 11-2. That's our final. We'll send it back to the studio for a quick 1-minute break, and then we will give you a quick recap of our 2 games today before we get you into Trailblazers Thunder back in 60 for one more time today here on your Tigers Radio Network. Welcome back to AM 1400 KBCH, where the Tigers, they go to 8-8 on the season. They are now 4-2 in league play, all alone in second place in league. They'll host the Clatskanie Tigers at 4:30 coming up on Tuesday. First pitch around 4:20, as I see a few of the Tiger members that won the Lincoln County Dodgeball Contest as part of the Homeless Education Literacy Project. So a great job by these young gentlemen, as half the dodgeball team was made up of baseball players like Devon Lindquist, Ty Fisher, Cody Knott, Darius Smith, and Jordan Hall, who got the strikeout to end the game. Bleiz Kimbrough gets the win on the hill today. Final numbers, 11 runs for the Tigers in game number 2. They had 13 hits. They left 5 runners on base. They only committed 1 error. For Catlin Gabel, they scored 2 runs. They had 5 hits. They had 1 error, and they left 7 runners on base, actually, as they left 3 on the base there in the top of the 7th. Some stats from game number 1. Tigers scored 22 runs in game 1 on 9 hits. They left 8 runners on base. They had 0 errors. For Catlin Gabel, they scored 5 runs on 3 hits with 6 runners left on base and 3 errors. So Taft goes to 8-8 on the season, 4-2 in league play. Catlin Gabel goes to 3-6 overall in the season, 3-3 in league play. As we said, coming up on Tuesday, we'll host the Catlin Tigers at 4:20, first pitch around 4:30, and then Friday will be a big doubleheader at Rainier. And then the following Tuesday, April 30th, a big game at Warrenton. If the Tigers win their next 4 games, they're going to be feeling really good about the final home stretch. With a split, they'll have 1 game here against Willamina, 1 game at Willamina before going to Catlin Gabel on May 7th, and the final doubleheader of the season, May 10th, at Catlin. So that does it for our broadcast today. Taft wins game 1, 22-5. They win game 2, 11-2 to go to, as we said, 4-2 in league play, 8-8 on the season. I'm Eric Goss for AM 1400 KBCH. We will take you either right now or momentarily to Trailblazers Oklahoma City Thunder second quarter action with Brian Wheeler on the call here on AM 1400 KBCH.